Fox 61 News at 5 starts now.
Now at 5, the man suspected of shooting a mall loss prevention officer appears in court. What we're learning about both the suspect and the victim.
With over $1.5 billion in federal funding, Connecticut's only putting 1% towards affordable housing. We'll have a detailed breakdown of the numbers tonight.
Very thankful. I mean, we were the thought of losing both of our dogs.
An attack that almost turned deadly, how one snake almost took a family's beloved pets away, and the fight to save them.
Plus, the face of the government response to COVID-19 here in the U.S., announcing plans on stepping down.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. We're tracking some small showers that have popped up around the state today. Take a look. This out of Stroh Park in Windsor. This is earlier. Look at all that rain.
Yeah, everything's still wet from some early afternoon rain. It's been a dry summer. We don't have to tell you that. So any amount of rain is much appreciated.
Certainly. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now. Rachel, is this rain helping to clear up the drought? And who saw the rain?
Every little bit definitely helps, Sarah, but this isn't nearly enough to kind of erase the rainfall deficit that just continues to grow. Eastern Connecticut, you guys hit the jackpot today, and really the eastern half of the state. West of the Connecticut River, those rainfall totals drop off pretty dramatically, and that's how it is for summer rain. You get a lot of haves and have-nots. Right now in Hartford, we're seeing some breaks in the overcast, maybe a little touch of brightness out there amongst the clouds, 76 degrees. It looks like the steadier rain has moved on from Hartford for now. We're still seeing some downpours here in northeastern Connecticut, though. It is raining like crazy right now from Killingly all the way up the 395 corridor. Putnam, you guys are all the jackpot today, and we're seeing some new showers that are starting to pop up in western Connecticut, which is great news because, again, western areas, you guys haven't seen very much of anything today. So New Milford seeing a shower. Hopefully we can get some around Oxford and Waterbury here with a few leftover showers before the night is through. Here's a look at the future radar. Again, some leftover scattered showers out there over the course of the next several hours. By the news at 10, there might be a lingering light shower in spots, but things are generally starting to peter out with overnight lows around 70 degrees. Tomorrow we'll see clouds, some sunny breaks, and the chance for a pop-up shower or thunderstorm in spots. That activity is hit or miss and not as numerous as the showers have been out there today. Highs close to 80 degrees, and then it gets hot again. Your full forecast coming up.
All right, we'll cross our fingers for tomorrow, Rachel. Thank you. New tonight, the man who allegedly shot a loss prevention officer at the Buckland Hills Mall in Manchester last week appeared before a judge today, and we are learning more about the victim and details of the incident.
Fox 61's Matt Canaan is live from Manchester Superior Court with all the new developments. Matt.
Yeah, hi guys. Today we learned that the suspect, Richard LaPlante, is a lifelong Connecticut resident and that he does have some past minor convictions, including one for larceny, but up until now, no felony-related charges. Our first look at 30-year-old Richard LaPlante, facing a slew of felony charges, including criminal attempt to commit murder.
These are extremely serious allegations that may become even more serious as time goes on.
LaPlante's attorney tried to get his bond reduced, citing how he turned himself in after initially fleeing the scene following the alleged shooting of 27-year-old Macy's loss prevention officer Tursal Polanco at the Buckland Hills Mall in Manchester on Friday.
His family cannot make that bond.
It was a motion the judge denied.
I anticipated that.
Noting that LaPlante only turned himself in after his photos were posted everywhere. Photos that showed him wearing a one-of-a-kind basketball jersey that was found in his home here on Ford Street in Windsor.
Most experienced defense lawyers are not going to really talk or articulate the facts of the case. The most important thing, we're praying for the victim. We hope that the victim is okay.
But the arrest warrant details how Polanco was in critical condition and how, quote, several of his internal organs were damaged. Polanco will require several additional surgeries. After allegedly stealing merchandise, LaPlante allegedly shot Polanco at point-blank range in the parking lot with a .308 caliber pistol that he allegedly tossed in the dumpster of the nearby Fairfield Inn as he fled.
This was what was likely a minor larceny that turned into him facing Class A felonies.
LaPlante's case will be transferred to Hartford, where he is next scheduled to appear in court on September 7th. We're live here in Manchester outside the Superior Courthouse. Matt Canaan, Fox 61 News.
All right, Matt, thank you. Fire crews responded to a house fire in Meriden this morning. Neighbors calling 911 when they saw smoke shooting out of the roof of that home. It all happened on Robin Hill Road around 10:30 this morning. Fire crews say the house is vacant and is undergoing renovations. No one was inside the home at the time of the fire. When they arrived on scene, they found the basement on fire, and firefighters had to break windows on the main floor to help with the ventilation. Luckily, there were no injuries reported. Deputy Fire Chief Ryan Dunn says there were some unique challenges with the fire in the basement, but they were able to put it out quickly.
The weather conditions due to the humidity, are always a concern with us, and being a basement fire adds a little bit of an element of danger to it.
The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
Well, also new at 5, New Canaan police say checks are being stolen from home mailboxes, specifically mailboxes on Ferris Hill and West Road. They say these checks have been washed, which means information is being changed on them that makes them payable to people other than the intended recipient. New Canaan police are offering tips to keep your mail safe. They say you should report suspicious activity by mailboxes, check your mail often, consider a lock, and report theft to their department and the USPS.
All right, breaking news right now. A consumer alert new here at 5. Connecticut Department of Labor is warning residents of another text scam. This one telling filers to verify their identity in order to process their unemployment payment. Now, the text appears to be a message from Reemploy Connecticut, but sends users a .net address to verify their information. The Department of Labor is emphasizing the agency does not do claims work through text or social media. If you get this text, do not click on the link.
New tonight, Connecticut's 169 towns received over $1.5 billion in federal funding to help with the COVID-19 pandemic recovery. But they've allocated just 1% for affordable housing projects.
Now, Fox 61 political reporter Emma Wolfhorst is digging into the numbers and joins us now with more on this. Emma.
Brent, Sarah, that 1%, about $15 million, but that's just what individual towns have budgeted for housing. With affordability still a big issue in Connecticut, the state says they've earmarked a lot more money.
Oh, it's absolutely an issue here in Connecticut.
The state is currently short over 85,000 affordable housing units, according to the National Low-Income Housing Coalition. 30% of Connecticut's renter households are extremely low income, and residents now need to earn nearly $58,000 annually in order to afford a 2-bedroom rental at fair market rate.
We can never build enough to keep up with demand, to be frank, but every bit of investment we do make takes a bite out of the problem.
Santoro says there are roughly 3,900 units under construction right now statewide, and the vast majority of development is funded by state dollars.
Connecticut is one of only 4 states that invest significant amounts of state resources into the development and preservation of affordable housing.
He says Connecticut has invested just under $59 million of its direct ARPA allocation for affordable housing or housing-related activities, and the State Department of Housing received $50 million alone to create new affordable housing opportunities.
There are a wide variety of resources that we are using in conjunction with that $50 million worth of ARPA dollars to create new affordable housing opportunities across the state.
Besides just building more affordable housing units, the state says they're also funding projects like rental assistance programs. Santoro says in order to mitigate this issue, the state needs to continue everything they're doing now, but on a larger scale. I reached out to state representatives on the Legislative Housing Committee, but did not hear back. In the newsroom, Emma Wolfhorst, Fox 61 News.
Thank you, Emma. Dr. Anthony Fauci says he'll leave government service by the end of the year. The nation's top infectious disease expert announced today he'll leave government service in December to pursue the next chapter of his career. Fauci has advised 7 presidents and spent more than 5 decades in government service. 38 of those years, he was head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases.
As we kick off a new school year, districts across the state are still facing staffing shortages. It's a problem we've heard a lot about throughout the pandemic. Fox 61's Angelo Bavaro breaks down how districts are working to get more educators in the classrooms.
This issue affecting nearly all districts in the state and the nation, but education leaders say it is especially magnified in those rural and city areas.
I'm going to be totally upfront here. I think in the rural areas, they're not able to pay the salaries in many cases that other districts can. So they're not competitive in salaries. I think in the urban districts, they're somewhat competitive, but not quite as competitive as their suburban counterparts. And the working conditions are tougher.
Now, some of those districts getting creative to keep and recruit staff. Hartford Public Schools, for example, introducing a new series of incentives and stipends. Employees got a bonus at the end of this past school year, and those returning for this new school year will get an additional larger bonus. On top of that, the employee referral bonus for those certified positions was also upped.
We've had over a dozen hiring fairs. Our team has worked tirelessly, not just, in our talent management office, but across all of our schools. Our school leaders have also, played a role in identifying staff.
And check this out. This is a look at the average teacher salaries by state. According to the National Education Association, New York ranks the highest and Mississippi ranks last in pay for the last school year. Here in Connecticut, the average salary is almost $80,000. That is number 5 in the nation. And the average starting salary is about $46,000. That is number 10 in the nation. The national average teacher salary, that is just over $66,000. Now, while the average pay has increased 1.7% over the last school year, when it's adjusted for inflation, the average salary decreased nearly 4% over the last decade. That means teachers are making about $2,100 less than 10 years ago. And get this, a survey done earlier this year by the National Education Association found 55% of educators polled are thinking about leaving the profession earlier than they had planned. Angelo Bavaro, Fox 61 News.